Hey guys, what's going on? This is Cheney 180 and
The Fallen Fed. Hey guys, what's up?
Hey, it's 80s, baby.
you're listening to another episode of They're Not Dolls.
Quickie Mini 7.
Quickie Mini 7.
Is it Mini Quickie? Mini Quickie, huh?
Quickie Mini.
Quickie Mini?
Quickie Mini.
I knew it was something.
Yeah.
Quickie
Yeah.
Mini 7.
Quickie Mini 7.
Got it.
Yeah. You got it. Got it. Get it. Good. Sweet. So hello everyone. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Today's Throwback Thursday. What'd you think about that?
Dang, I was bumping some throwbacks today.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I think my favorite was Spinning by Sunbelt.
That's not ringing a bell.
Oh. Dario, you know that one?
I'm sure if I heard it, I would know.
What was that again?
Sunbelt, Spin It.
Nah, I don't wear many belts.
Like retro disco.
I don't do belts.
It's a very good one, man. That's one of my favorites. That gets me going every time.
Dario don't do belts.
Nah, you don't do belts. All right, Mr. Miyagi.
Or no cats.
I don't do cats.
What else is it that he does? Oh. Well, you can say it later on your other show.
Yeah, I never watched that show.
Yeah. There you go. That's what it was. Dario don't watch no boys. That's
What
the-
show?
I never watched that show. The Boys.
The Amazon one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? That was
I don't-
good.
Yeah, I don't watch no boys.
Mm. All right, I get it now. I'm there. Mervine had some Debbie Deb playing Cars 1, 2, 2, 3. He was listening to some Rick James.
Ooh. Oh, yes.
I like some Rick James. I hope it's Mary Jane.
Mary Jane.
Do, do, do. Oh, that's my favorite. So Spin It is spinning. Whoa. Oh, I love that one.
Okay.
I bet you Mervine knows it. Mervine, do you know Spin It?
I know if I heard it, I would probably, know what
That's
it
my
is. It's
throwback.
just not-
That's my throwback Thursday.
Okay. Calm down.
Love it.
Don't get all mad. It's okay. I'm sorry. Okay, so Throwback Thursday today. Yeah, let's talk about some stuff from our childhood that we know and love oh so well. Very memorable. We'll start off with Dario. What was like your jam growing up?
Oh man. The ones that always pop into the top of my head when I talk about old toys that I had was those like 12-inch turtles that would just all they did was move their arm and their legs
Yeah,
and the head.
we saw those at Frankenstein. They had a bunch of those in the case. They even had the Bebop and Rocksteady ones too.
Oh man, I never had those. I never even seen those, but I did have all four turtles. And then my mom almost beat me up because one day I had some friends that lived across the hall, and they had like little yard sale, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I got some stuff."
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh, that sucks. So did you take all four of them over there?
yeah,
Oh, man. Really?
yeah. And I think to make matters worse, if I'm not mistaken, and my memory serves me correct, it was probably like between a quarter to 75 cents they sold them for.
Oh.
Oh, man. Or the neighbor kid took them.
Oh.
Man.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
That sucks.
I remember there was someone I knew that had the Michelangelo. They had the Michelangelo, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool, but I just, it's a little bit too big for my taste. I got, because I had a whole bunch of the normal size stuff, and so I was like, all right, yeah, this is neat. This is it's something that I never really cared for, but then it was funny because when I got really into X-Men, I was just like, I saw the Cyclops one, I was like, oh, I gotta have that. For some reason, I needed that, but Michelangelo or any of the turtle ones, I was like, man, I'm okay. It was really weird. What else? What's another one, Dario? What's another one that you're just like that you remember that you had that you're just like, dude, I got to take that with me.
Mm, I used to have the Batman. It was like he had like some type of like grappling hook coming out of his arm or something. So it had the string, the retractable string. I remember I used to tie that up like on the refrigerator handle and pretend like he's climbing a building or something like that.
Which one was that?
It was like some old Batman figures. Like they
Was
look
it?
like almost like uh
I think it might
three
have
and three
been the
quarter scale.
it might have been the 5-inch Toy Biz, and it was his belt that came off, right? And you could wrap the belt around
Something like
stuff.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the belt would like retract onto his tummy again.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
I can tell you right now, what color was it? Was it the black
It was all the
Batman or was it a gray and blue?
It was the all black.
Yeah, it was the all black one.
That's
I
it.
think it was like
Yep.
almost like a movie version.
It was. Yeah. And Cheney's
Yeah.
right. It was his belt because
Yep.
Michael had the same one and would do the same thing everywhere.
I did the same thing too.
Yep.
Yeah, we had
And I-
this like shelf in the living room, and I used to do it on there. And I was like, oh man! Like I remember when I got it, I was like, this is awesome.
Right. He hung out. And I bet you if we had that today, what it was probably just like a couple inches.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. I remember it wasn't that long when I was a kid. I mean, you can't like
No, it was at least a yard.
See? See? That's what it was to us. I'm pretty sure it was about a 5-footer.
when I measured it out, it was like all the way from my elbow to my hand. So that,
Right.
man,
Yeah,
looking
dude,
now
it went from like the
back-
top of the fridge to the bottom.
I was just gonna say that too. It went from the kitchen all the way to the living room couch. So it was
Yeah.
it was totally that.
Oh man, what about you, Ernie?
Oh man, I probably most favorite was Sunstreaker. That was my first Transformers. I did mention I used to love just I don't know why taking the He-Man and throwing them up on a grocery bag so they parachute down. And then I would double arm it too and just spin them real fast. I had He-Man in one, Skeletor in the other, and then throw them up and then see who would come down first and hope that He-Man would hit Skeletor on the way down. What else? I liked I really loved what was it, Jason the Wheel Warriors? Those were cool designs that we had never seen in a figure or toy as far as the vehicles went. You know, I
Mhm.
had that. It was blue and it had the plant coming out of it that was actually into a ball and you'd hit the lever. So it was kind of like a stomper on the
Okay.
side.
Yeah.
That and in my pocket though was always one of the clear versions of Mask.
Nice.
It was, and it was the blue. I think it was a blue clear Sato.
Nice.
I'm pretty positive, and I got that at TG&Y.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember what my go-tos were. I know the first turtle I got was Leonardo, and that was I didn't know what it was. I was just like we were at Target one day and I was like, yeah, I like that. I want that. I have no idea why I like or want it, but I want that. So I ended up going home with Leonardo, and that's where the madness started. That's where it all like just okay. Well, what are these other? Oh, these are his brothers. Okay, cool. And then it just kind of I think the cartoon came out a little bit after that, and it just trickled down from there. And I remember when I was younger, I had the Secret War stuff, and recently Dario was able to snag the Secret Wars Wolverine. So I was like, oh man, that's awesome. Because I remember when I was little, I'd like lost the claws and all that. So I really liked some of those Secret Wars figures. The superpowers stuff, I really liked that too. I remember having the Batman and the Dr. Fate and Superman and Wonder Woman and Flash. I had Robin and Darkseid. Who else?
Those are the small ones, right? That when you squeeze their legs.
Yes,
Yeah.
the superpowers, yeah.
yeah.
I still have Superman in package.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I probably let those go too soon, but I remember a long time ago started working one time. So what, maybe around 2000 or so. I was cleaning this dude's office and he had some on his desk, and I was like, "Oh yeah, those are cool. I have some." And he immediately snagged everything I had, and I thought afterwards, man, I really should have looked that up, shouldn't I? I swear to God, yeah, like it was a lot that I had, like Joker and Aquaman, and man, there was a bunch that I had just loose.
Mm-hmm. I had
Some loose
Aquaman.
ones go for a pretty good penny.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
That's till this day I still won't look them up just for that reason.
Yeah.
Nah, I went the maybe second to last time I went to New York Comic Con. There was a one of their like little cubicle things that the guys had set up, and they had them, and I saw the inbox Superman, and they were going for it was like 120, and then the Batman was like 150, and then loose was like about 70, 80. And I was like, geez, this is crazy. But then I saw other ones that I've never seen before and way more money. I
Mhm.
have Superman's like little spaceship.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh, I don't remember
Yeah.
that one.
Well, it's funny because they actually re-released that Superman ship in the Batman line, but it was just all black. Um it had like retractable wings. Man, I had that thing and I messed with it like crazy. I loved that thing. And it wasn't until years later that I realized that, oh, that was an old Superman ship from Superpowers.
Yeah.
But they just, made it. They put some bat logos on the wings and put a, like, because it had like a little like launching piece on the very front, like the nose of the ship. And they redid that and made it like a bat kind of like missile, I guess. And then you would press the button on the back and it would like launch out. But yeah, that was man, I loved that ship. That thing was so cool. Can't really call it a Batwing because it wasn't really a Batwing. I remember I went to my cousin's house and he had the actual Batwing, and I was just like, oh man, it's so bad.
Oh yeah, did you guys have those cousins that always had stuff you didn't,
Yes,
and it kind of
yes.
made you mad? Like you had your cool cousins, and then those ones were the ones you're mad at.
Well, he was cool. He always let me play with it. He was like super cool about it.
Oh, see, mine didn't.
Yeah, he was the only kid, so like anytime I came over, it was just like, okay, cool, let's play. And I'm like, I'm just gonna play with your stuff. I don't really care about you right now. But
Yep. It was my cousin Kevin, and he had an AT-AT, and he had the Falcon, and he had like all the figures, and all the time I'd go for them. It's like, you can't touch that. Why? That's mine. Aren't you gonna play with it? No. But they're right here. No.
I never had like cousins that were like into toys. But I did have cousins that had like the latest like gaming systems and stuff, like the Sega or Super Nintendo and like Nintendo 64, and I never had those things. I had Nintendo, no, I had Atari, Nintendo, and then the next thing I owned was a PlayStation, and that was because a PlayStation 2, and that was because I bought it. Everything else in between that, I used someone else's. But I was like, oh yeah, can we play? And he's like, no, I already played all day. I was like, I don't want to play. I'm like, keep it. I mean, can I though? Can I play?
Right. Yeah.
My mom said no. My mom said, oh, come on. Why am I even here?
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is ridiculous.
I didn't even see you ask. When they would say no.
Your mom said I could though.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had friends like that. It was just like, dude, I'm just gonna go home then. Well, no, I guess we could play. I'm like, dude, like, I don't get it. I'm like, come on, man. We had Mervine saying his favorites were Undercover Donatello. I loved that figure. Skateboarding Mikey. I remember getting that as well. I had him and Mondo Gecko, and I had them just skating all over the place, man.
All the time.
Yep.
All the time.
And then
Yeah.
even more, I love the surfer Michelangelo. I love that
Yes.
figure, man. I loved it so much. I don't know why either.
Like I had toys, but a lot of the times they were like I guess you want to call them like you ever go to like, see, I can't even think of how to explain this. So you would go now, like, let's say to like a souvenir shop, right? Or like one of these
Pawn shops?
okay, all right, no, all right. Over here, when I lived over in New York, we used to have these stores that would be like, let's say, like a Chinese owner or something, right? And they would sell like book bags and like suitcases and things like that, right? Almost looks like a bootleg souvenir shop type of thing. Like they literally sold everything. You want like the laundromat carts? I don't know if you guys have those over there. But they have like these carts where you can put your laundry bags in there to go wash your clothes and stuff for groceries, right? Because a lot of people walk, so they sell all these things. So in the front, they would sell like the little toys and stuff. One of them would be, I don't know if you ever seen them maybe at the malls. It would be like a penguin set, and it's steps, and they climb up the steps, then they come down a slide, and then it just
Yes.
repeats all
Yes, I know
over.
that. Yeah.
You seen those stands in the mall?
Yes.
Or like, okay, imagine that stand as a store.
Okay.
That was my toy store, right? So we would go and I used to have that thing, and or like the little fish that would like go in circles and they would
Yeah,
open their
yeah.
mouth and you would have to go fishing,
Yeah, like the swap meet
right?
toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the swap meet was our store where we would go and get all this stuff. So
Cool.
one of my favorite things to get was these like these ninja bikes, right? The Kawasaki
I
looking
remember
ninja
those.
bikes
I remember those.
in all black and a
Yes.
rubber
Ninja.
rider.
Yes, 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 yes. I love those things. Yeah.
Dude, I had so many of those. So many of those.
I remember I specifically had one, and man, he was so awesome. Yeah, I forgot about that. Those were awesome.
Yeah, my brother would grab that, and then I would grab the Chinese stars that you could throw, the rubber ones with the stickies all around the Chinese star. So I could throw it at him or stick it to the TV and then really get your dad mad when in the middle of he's watching something.
Oh yeah.
And you and you get to stick and you were like, yes, and then you get yelled at. Yeah, that
I
store is
used to have
awesome.
so many. I used to have so many of the little parachute troopers. Just
Yeah.
throw them in my house, and they don't fly because there's no type of air in the room, so they just drop right there.
Well, when I grew up, there was an empty field across the street from my house. So I'd always go over there and play and stuff. Or like in my front yard, like I was always getting kicked out of the house. It was just like, all right, fine, I'll go play outside then. And like I would do that, but then we had a bunch of trees in the front yard, and I'd always get them stuck up there, and I'm just like, man, like it'd be like 5 minutes of just like sure fun, like yeah, all right, cool, all right, oh man, and it'd be like 35, 40 minutes of me throwing rocks trying to get the thing out of the tree.
Oh man.
And then once again, it'd be like 5 minutes of like, yeah, all right, this is so much. Oh man, and then back to right back again. And then by then it was like, all right, well, I guess that's been about it for today. So time to go back in.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, we got JL Reject saying, man, he had this one. What is that?
Cousin.
Oh, cousin. Sorry, who lived in Indio. We didn't visit that often, living in Washington. But when I went over there the first time, he had like a load of mask vehicles. Oh man, that's awesome.
And he did karate, so he was super cool to him.
That's awesome.
That is right. That one who you always saw.
Colossal Custom said Toy Biz purple Joker motorcycle with the side cart was one of his favorites.
Oh yeah, that was cool. I remember that. Yeah, they had a lot of cool toys for that Toy Biz line. And it was funny because that was the end of like the contract for DC stuff. Was like in between the first Batman movie and Batman Returns. And when Batman Returns came out, it was all Kenner. So they were all Kenner figures after that. So none of them had any knee articulation. It was just straight 5 points of articulation: shoulders, hips, and head or neck.
Wasn't this Toy Biz Joker motorcycle? Wasn't that the one that got stolen from Mask?
It could have been
And they just redid it without the shell. So the Mask one was supposed to turn into the submarine, the sidecar.
I don't remember. I'll have to bring up a picture.
I think they took off the shell that would be the window, for the submarine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this was the same bike. I believe that this is the same one. Like they jacked it from Mask.
Let me see.
I think. But that's cool. Do you guys remember the old stores like Dario was just describing. That's cool because you're from East Coast, and so it is different over here. So like we had, like I said, TG&Y or Sprouse Ritz or Pick and Save, Thrifty.
Yeah, I don't know none of those.
You know,
Thrifty had some.
that Joker motorcycle does look very different there. It doesn't look like it like fits in the line at all there.
Yeah, see, I think that's the mask one redone.
It looks like it doesn't like because if you look at the other Joker motorcycle, it doesn't look anything like that.
Right, like they just added on stuff, made sure the transforming feature wasn't there, and then there it is.
Yeah, no, I could see that. Yeah. Let's see if we could find that Batwing real quick, or that Bat.
It's
Jet.
funny. I have a Batman motorcycle
There's
that looks
the
kind of just
there's
like
the figure,
that.
Dario. Go back up a little bit, Dario. That's the belt one. I mean,
Yeah,
Cheney.
yeah, right there. Yeah, that one.
Oh yeah. That is the one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Over here we had like a store like Caldor. Obviously we still had Dwayne Reed's around back then, but not as much as we do. Not as we had Dwayne Reed's, but there's so very few around over here. It's more like a New York thing.
Yeah. See, I don't even know that name. That's crazy.
It's Dwayne Reed is Walgreens now.
Okay. When
Yeah.
we always just had Thrifty. Basically it was all Thrifty, and then Thrifty got turned into Rite Aids.
Okay, so that's even more interesting. The Batjet wasn't from Superpowers then. I guess it was from Silverhawks.
Oh yeah, there it is. Wow.
That's funny.
Yeah. I want to say it was part of Superpowers too. I'm going to look that up right now.
Yeah, so many toy lines that just took from each other to use.
Oh yeah, they just reused like crazy.
Right.
Like, it was really funny. And like you don't notice it until way later.
Mervine said for him it was Kmart, KB, Woolworth, Fedco, Pick and Save. And we had a Woolworth over here too.
Yep, Fedco. Fedco was awesome. You have to wait for it. At our Fedco, like you grabbed a ticket and they'd bring it out to you, type thing.
Okay.
I remember what you were saying about even the video games. Man, me and my brother had one time when Super Nintendo just came out, and we're laying down, and I swear to God, my brother Michael says, my mom and dad says, "We'll be back," and my brother yelled, "Don't forget the Super Nintendo," and they left, right? And then it's like hours later they came back and they're honking to come help with whatever was in the trunk, and they opened up the trunk, dude, and there was Super Nintendo and Street Fighter.
Oh my gosh.
I swear.
Nice.
That was like, I remember that. I was like,
there goes that Supermobile. That's the one I have now.
Oh.
That's the one?
Yeah.
Wow.
The Caldor for us was what Target would be now.
Cowdoor?
It was like yeah. It used to be like the same type of style, like that. Like over there, we had Toys R Us and things like that, like in this one shopping center. But Caldor would be like our thing, and it's almost like a Target now.
Weren't Targos used to be Gemco? Or maybe our Gemco turned into a Target. Maybe that was it.
I don't remember. Maybe I'm wrong, but I remember back in the day when Toys R Us, right? You know, when you would have to go get like the play sets or a bicycle or even video games. You remember you would have to grab the ticket,
yes,
pay for it, and then they'll bring it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about at like Fedco.
Okay, yeah.
And you waited. Okay, so how about when the ticket was out there and they come back and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have any."
Oh man, like, when you would go and you'll find something you wanted, and you go get, and there was no more tickets. Oh,
yeah.
Man, I remember trying to look for a Mega Man game for Nintendo.
And I was just gonna say Super Mario Brothers 3.
Man, we lucked out when that came out. We got that like right when it came out. That was I'll always remember that. Like my brother, he would come over for the weekend, so we got that like right like on Friday, right after we picked him up. We just went and stopped and got Super Mario 3. And we played that game all day Saturday, all day long, and finally beat it at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. It was cool, man. Like I was like the not very good Luigi player too, but I will credit my brother. He's the one that beat the game. I didn't. But it was fun, man. That was a good time.
So you just didn't have a slip, Dario, from Mega Man?
No, I had to wait. I forgot. I remember I had one Mega Man. I can't remember what it was, but I know the box for the cartridge was like purple, something like that. And that was probably like one of the very few games for Nintendo that I did have.
I remember having Mega Man 2. I had that one. And that's probably why that's my favorite one. Let's see what Mega Man 2 box art looks like.
My favorite one was Super Mario Brothers 2.
That one was
It was
cool.
there was something about that game, and to this day, I just love it. I love
Do
that
you
game.
do you know that Super Mario 2 was not originally a Super Mario game?
Really?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was totally something
it
else.
was a completely different game, and all they did was swap out the what is it, the sprites or whatnot for Mario characters. That's why it was so different from all the other games, because it was already like a like different game completely. It was like a completed game, and they're like, we're not gonna do anything with this, and then so they're like, okay, yeah, we'll just make that Mario then, because they needed like because Mario 1 was like so popular. They're like, we need a sequel out and we need it quick. So
Yeah.
that's why it came out.
So the
Was
4 characters were just written in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. What we got going on in the chat, Ernie?
Let's see. We got we said that one. And Mervine was agreed with the video games large plate sets at Vedco. You needed a ticket, and that's where he got his Terror Dome. And then he remembers the slips at Toys R Us too. And
Mm-hmm.
then Mervine just commented that and said, funny how everyone remembers Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario 3 selling out, but no one ever remembers Super Mario 2 selling out.
Yeah, that's the truth. It was it was very different. Very, very different.
Thunder Crow, what's up?
Let's see here. So let's go through some of these comments here from the post that you posted earlier, Dario. We got Bio JX Photo. Man, we need a Street Sharks revival.
Street Sharks were crazy.
Yeah, it was a little bit after my time. Street Sharks were. I was just kind of
I
like,
just always remember seeing them like, wow, okay.
that's exactly how I felt. I was all, wow, that's really intense. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I have a friend, and when his son a few years back, he was always like showing him all the old school stuff, right? He still does to this day. So I go and I was like, "Ooh, what are you watching now?" And he starts mentioning, he's like, Street Sharks. I was like, "What?" Dude, for his birthday, I ordered all the Street Sharks on eBay. I got like a super deal on like a whole set of maybe like 6 or 8. And but I was like, man, I don't want to give this to him.
Colossal
But I
Customs.
ended up
I
giving it
I
to
had
him.
that. I had that, and man, I played with that thing forever. That
He said
Snake
no
Ma-
one's gonna mention Snake Mountain with voice changer.
Yeah, that I had that. That thing was crazy.
I have it sitting behind my desk at work right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Every once in a while, you got to pull it out and go.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing was stupid fun. We have Vic Vicious 123. I love the Street Sharks. I only had Strex and Slam Moo. To this day, I wish I owned all the brothers.
Slam Moo.
King
Oh.
Apache. Now I feel old. Put me back in my capsule. Land of the Lost. I wanted to be Wolverine so bad when I was a kid. Strawberry Fields Forever feels like yesterday. Also, I want those buildings that they were playing. That was like one of the things, okay? Like, that was one of the things that when I was watching those commercials, I was like, can I just go there? Like, can I just go there and play my toys? Like,
Can we play the video or will we get hit?
um,
Yeah,
maybe.
well, don't if you think we're gonna get hit.
Yeah, I would rather not risk it just
All
in
right.
case. I don't know. Screw it. We'll play them.
Oh, Colossal Custom said Chuck Norris Rambo figures.
Introducing the G.I. Joe USS Flag
I do
aircraft
remember
carrier.
those.
Imagine being on the
I
deck
think the
of this
vehicles
aircraft
from that line
carrier.
can scale perfect with MLS. Look at that.
Yo, so look, so I picked this commercial for the GI Joe this carrier, right? So I
G.I. Joe
remember
USS Flag
as a
aircraft
kid,
carrier comes with what
I
you
used
see
to
here.
like
The figures and
playing with like
equipment sold
the
separately from
plastic
us.
airplanes and stuff. And I remember my parents buying me this ship that kind of looked like this, but obviously it wasn't this. But it was just as big. And I remember going into the bathtub, taking a bath, and putting this boat. And then the only thing that fit was me and this boat. But I would always go there and I play like there were no color whatsoever. It was just gray ships, like the fighters and stuff. And I'll be there pretending like I'm in like war or something and dropping bombs on like whatever little figure I had and stuff. I was like, man, if I could only remember what that was, I'll buy that junk again.
Yeah, I remember my uncle. I go to his house and we'd visit sometimes, and the neighbor of him, the kid that lived next door to him, had the USS Flag. And I was just like, oh man. Like, I remember he's like, hey, you want to come over and play? I'm like, I guess, like whatever. And then we go in his room and I was just like, whoa, okay. Hey, nice. And he had like all the jets on there. Like, it was all like done up. Like, he had like this whole separate playroom. I was just like, wow, what the heck? Like, jeez, you got everything in here. And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, let's play. I'm all, okay, I'm cool with that. And like a couple hours later, my dad's like, all right, we got to go. I'm all, do we really have to go? Because, like, did you look at this thing? Like, it's a ginormous battleship. It's like bigger than I am, and I'm a kid. And he was just like, yeah, we got to go. I'm all, oh, man. So, like, I think it went over there quite a few times, so it was pretty cool. But that was the only time, like, I ever ran into the USS Flag.
What's up, KJ Smith? Thunder Crow said the oldest figure I have in my current collection is a Spawn 21 mitten box, sitting with the skull. He's like, I'm sure if I go to my parents' storage, I can find my Ghostbusters that changed with hot water.
I love that feature. I just love the.
That was the real Ghostbusters, right? The animated ones, right?
Yeah, that was the later
Yeah.
ones though. Like,
Yeah.
because they got all weird. Like, yeah. Let's see. Darth Dad says, or the Darth Dad says, I had so many of the X-Men toys. Yes, me too. Colossal Customs, 84 Masters of the Universe, Thunder Punch He-Man, and Too Bad. X-Men missile launchers, Beast Colossus, and Master Mold Head. I remember those. 14-inch Sentinels, Danger Room playset. I don't think I ever had the Danger Room playset. The Age of Apocalypse Wave, I have that. Commando Assault Cable. I remember I didn't like that figure. I never got that one. Gray and Black Armor Series Quicksilver. I remember that. I got that. The Water Wars Iceman. That one was cool. Battle Brigade Battle Damage Wolverine with door. Oh, that was basically just Battle Damage Wolverine. I loved that figure. X-Men 2099 Shadow Dancer. TF's OG Rampage. And he still has all of his Toy Biz X-Men. That's cool, man. That's really cool.
Well, we already know who Colossal Customs is when he was a kid. That was Richie Rich.
Yeah. The Jimani. Oh my gosh, I loved all the toys, especially the X-Men. I remember looking for hours for Storm through all of the hundreds of X-Men Marvel action figures they had at Toys R Us. Storm was a hard commodity. I learned later on that actually made less of Storm figurines to make more, or to make her more collectible. Yeah, I remember Storm was kind of hard to come by. Street Sharks was jawsome, says Wolverine Fanboy 29. Jay Chino, Street Sharks. I can't believe I forgot about those. So much fun. Yeah, man, there's a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff back in the day.
Yeah, I was super into Street Sharks because at that exact moment that they were out, it was like the like X Games were starting on like MTV and stuff like that. Everybody was getting into like rollerblading. That was like the newest thing coming out. So when that came out, I was like, oh man, hell yeah, I'm doing all of this. And I started trying to learn how to skate. Like I learned on roller skates first before rollerblading. That was the biggest mistake ever. But it was like, oh, I tried everything they do it. I was like, yeah, I want to do that too. I had a bicycle. I tried to like jump off of stuff to like rip my lips open on the concrete.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I just remember, like I was saying earlier, I'd see those commercials and be like, man, where can I get those buildings and those streets? Like, where's that setup at? Like, I want to go there and play with my toys. I never
Yeah,
did
when I would
find
see them,
it.
I just never thought they were real. I was like, oh, that's only for them. I was like, that's not for me.
Did you okay? Throwback Thursday. Did you guys have a big disappointment in a figure or something that you got as a kid because it didn't do what happened on the commercial?
Um, I'll have to think about that.
Mine was the Transformers freaking talk box. They showed that commercial and you were supposed to hold it up. It was like the Autobot logo and you would talk through it and then it sounded like Soundwave. And I was like, yes. And then I remember getting it as a kid and it was nothing like that. It was more like, and then that was it. And I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah, I remember there was a bunch of stuff like that. Like they would show it do stuff on the commercial, and you're like, oh man, it's on. And then you get it, and
Right.
you're all, this is nothing like TV. What, what, what's going on here? This sucks. Like,
Yeah.
be all disappointed and mad.
I
Yeah.
remember that a lot, like how you're saying with the play sets that they showed in there, but that was mine. I mean, it totally was Soundwave voice. And I was like, yes. And then nothing happened. It was just pure static. I'm like, man,
Nah,
this sucks. Or yeah, that
I don't
toy.
even. I don't even think I can like say something like that because, man, like I loved every little thing that I actually had. I could care less. And if you know, let me see something on TV and I got it, dude, you couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me
That's my
nothing.
thing. That was a birthday gift.
Well, that's
I would see it every day, and I was like, yes, I asked for that, and I got it, and I opened it, and then I just sat there, and they're like, oh, are you so excited? I'm like, yeah, thanks. I'm not Soundwave.
yeah. No,
Like, what happened?
I remember I was just like, you'd be looking forward to it. You're like, oh man, the commercials like shows like kids doing this thing with it, and you get it, and you're like, it doesn't do this. Like what? Hold on, and like, my dad would be like, oh well, let me look at it. Blah blah. He's like, yeah, no, what's going on here? Like even he would get like upset, like, yo, what?
Yeah, no. See, I could have asked for anything in the world, and I would have been like, yeah, well, I don't know. Like,
Look at
and so that's why when it did come up, you're like, whoa, what? Am I dying?
look at Dario making us look like spoiled little brats.
I
Nah, I used to have it was like a family friend from my mom's side, and I used to always think he was my uncle, so we would go visit him often, and every time I was there, he would always have some toys for me, and like it could be like the dumbest thing, you remember those old like little kid toys where they would look like they're not Legos, but like almost like blocks, but the bottom
Duplo?
I don't know what they're called, but they would look like little people, right? Like they would have like faces and stickers on them. It would be like almost like legit, like you would probably see like in a kid's hospital room, like play set, right? He would give me like things like that, like on a car or a bus, and I would play with those the whole time I'm in his house. Never want to leave. He also gave me Sesame Street, like a Sesame Street building, and when you open it up, it's like the inside of the apartments. And it was like to me, though, was like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. It's a building.
I
with
remember
nothing in it.
I got a car wash. It was like a Matchbox car wash one year for my birthday when I was a kid.
Oh, I wanted those so
And I
bad.
thought that was about the coolest thing ever, man. Like I was just like I was driving the cars through, washing them. I'm like, man, this is amazing. Like I can't believe it. This is so cool.
Was it the 2-level one where then it folded up and you carried it?
I think
So
I had two. I had a two like I had one that was just straight through. Like so you just like go straight through and it had
yeah,
like
like a small one, right?
yeah, and it had
Yeah.
like I think it had like yellow like sponges or whatnot on it that would roll over the car. And then I had another one that was a 2-story one. So you go through the bottom and then you go up to there was like an elevator that went to the top and then would roll back down to the start again and you could just kind of keep it going if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Let's see, what do we got going on in the chat here? There's a whole bunch of stuff going on.
Mervine says, I remember have an attack action Cyclops. He would twist his arm. He would twist and his arm would flip up to his visor. I don't remember who made that one.
I don't remember that one.
I think that was the one that I think they might have had a switch on his back. Then when you switch it, the arm went up. I'm not sure. I know there was some that did that. Like they had like a little lever thing that you would put. Because I have one now actually. That's I think it's either Spider-Man or Venom. And there's like a little light switch looking thing on his back, and it makes the arms move or something.
I'm trying to remember.
Thunder Crow said mine's probably the Karate Fighter game. They were super arm workouts, but became decent figs back in the day. I don't know what that is. Colossal Customs. My big bro bought me the Spidey animated series Tri-Spider Slayer mechs. I kept them in the box, good shape, and returned it 2 to 3 weeks later for Wildcat figs, Spartan, Maul, Warblade, and Hellspawn.
Nice. I had those. I even had some of the variant colors. I remember there was
What was Wildcats?
Wildcats was basically Jim Lee's answer to X-Men after he left Marvel and helped start Image. So they even had the cartoon on like USA and like Spartan was kind of like he was kind of like Cyclops ripoff, but to make him different, he was like an android, so he was robotic. And he was like the leader, I guess. And he had like a red, white, and blue costume, but then they came out with a variant that was just red and black. Maul was like the big guy. He could grow in size and get like really, really big, and he had like purple skin and like 2 horns on his back for some reason. Yeah, Warblade was cool. He was basically kind of like the Wolverine of the group, but he basically kind of had like Lady Deathstrike claws. I think he had to he got his abilities from being tested on kind of like Wolverine. Like a lot of the stuff is like real similar to X-Men, but I had those figures too. They were awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if he was too happy about it because he put a sad face emoji.
Well, yeah, afterwards, because it was just like they didn't move worth anything, man. Like you had the Toy Biz stuff that was like, okay, it's got pretty decent articulation, and then you got the the McFarlane toy stuff, and they had like weird swivel hips, and I don't remember if they had elbow joints or not. I don't remember. It's been a long time, man.
That's funny. That gets into JLA Rejects comment. He said he was always disappointed by toys with crap articulation. He said it happened a lot with 90s toys, and that's when he became an articulation snob early in life.
Yeah.
And Mervyn says that Cyclops was probably a knockoff.
Yeah, I can't remember it because I know there was the first Cyclops that came in the very first wave of X-Men that we basically just got again in the retro card. So that was the white and blue one. And then they did a repaint of that to make him look like the old school one with the red and the blue and the yellow shorts and gloves and boots. And then they came out with the Jim Lee Cyclops, which was the light up function again. And he came with a backpack and stuff. And then after that was, I want to say maybe the Street Fighter one they came in a 2-pack. And then I remember there was the Monster Wars one, and you would put like monster parts on Cyclops. And I think that was the same mold as the one from the Street Fighter 2-pack, or vice versa. Maybe they got that from the Monster Mold one. I think that's about it, other than the Age of Apocalypse Cyclops and stuff like that.
Dang, Shanny dropping toy knowledge.
Well, I'm trying to remember, but
Oh.
I
He's just Will Ferrell right now in Old School. I blacked out. What happened? He just went through the whole list.
Oh yeah. Colossal Custom says, look at the first Tiger Stripe Wolverine knees. The joint was at like the mid shin. Yeah, I still love that figure though. That thing was killer. I remember I got that when I was staying at my grandparents' house over the summer. We happened to go into a supermarket, and I walked in, and I was like, "Whoa, what is this? What? I don't. What? He comes in a different. This was before the cartoon came out too. I was like, he comes in a different costume than the brown and yellow. Like, what? Whoa, I need this. It's like I'll sell my soul. I'll do whatever. Like, please let me leave the store with this. And man, I had that thing for ever. I loved that figure.
What was a figure or a toy that you always maybe like asked for or really wanted and never got?
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Ernie?
Soundwave.
Soundwave?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, no. You know what? Even before that, sorry, because I still don't have them till this day. Jetfire.
Really,
That
the
was-
original Jetfire.
Okay.
Yeah, that was always sitting at a shop in Victorville. It was like this little area, and maybe kind of like what you're talking about, Dario, earlier. You know, with the fish stuff, the swimmy stuff in the front, and all those
Yeah,
wind up
yeah.
stuff. And in this center display, he had it up there, and it was like Optimus, and yeah, Soundwave was there, but then he had the whole thing there. And I remember it was like $75, and I asked for it every time, and then I would do stuff, and I saved up for it, and nothing. It was I was never taken over there when I did have the money, and then I spent it on something else, and then and then one day at a church school, a kid brings it next to me, and he wouldn't even let me touch it when he saw how excited I got, and I was like, man, we're at church. Like,
You better share that Transformer.
yeah.
The
Be like,
Lord's
"Yo,
watching."
Whatever I do here, I'll get forgiven."
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, it was for me. It was a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and number 2 was Optimus Prime. I never had Optimus Prime as a kid.
Yeah, I never had an Optimus either.
When I got older, I actually bought one for myself, and I was like, "This is what all the hype was about." Like, I was very disappointed. So
That's why I have all the toys I do, is exactly that. Like, growing up and not getting stuff, it was always all my friends or cousins who had stuff.
yeah,
You know, things happen, and we were good. I'm not saying it in that way,
Yeah,
but to say, you know, the stuff like that, like a Prime or the Jetfire, you know, that was way too out of the range. So yeah, I remember that. And then I still trying. I look probably like every other night still, and I'd say there's still about $300 for a complete one. That's white still,
Jeez.
because a lot of them started discoloring.
Oh man,
I
you never.
I remember seeing like I vaguely I remember maybe seeing like 1 or 2 Transformer toys, but I mean, I'm not saying we were poor or nothing like that, but like it was just, I guess it wasn't enough to be like, oh, well, you can have a toy like a lot, like often. So like whenever I would go to Toys R Us, it would be just like the few times that we would go, it would be just, I guess, a treat just to be in there, and I would go like nuts just
yeah.
looking at everything.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I remember that. Yeah.
It make your head spin.
Yeah,
So-
to the point where it's like I don't even remember like what was on the shelves.
Yeah.
I would just be like, "Oh my god, one day, dude, you know what I wanted and I never had was when I used to watch these like Nickelodeon shows or things like that, and they would go like on the shopping sprees, like
Yes.
going up and down the thing, and and I'm like, man,
I always
if
wanted to do that.
if only.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna have to wrap it up here. We are out of time. We've actually went over a little bit.
Yeah. Just real
So-
quick, Colossal Customs was at Mervine's was Usagi Yojimbo.
Oh man, I love that figure.
So I just want to throw those in real quick.
Yeah. That's all right. We'll find a Usaki Jimbo. We'll find one. And he'll look at it now and be, oh, this articulation is trash. I don't want this.
Yeah, just support NECA and we'll get it there.
Hey, yeah. Oh, no, even better if Super 7 does one. If Super 7 does one, because it'll look just like the toys. Ooh. Woo.
I
Ooh,
mean,
now I'm getting excited. Oh, my.
well, tune in to part 2
Yeah, we're
later on.
Yeah, we'll do this again. This was a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun today. We'll definitely do this next Thursday. So tune back in at 9 p.m. Pacific time, 12 a.m. Eastern. And we have a guest tonight. So tune in and check it out. So that's really all I'm going to say right now. So just tune in at 9 and we will be back. Make sure to check out the Raw Live Unedited Podcasting Network with such amazing shows as
RLU Weekly.
Be sure to check out D Amazing's YouTube channel with the latest import action figure reviews and Mezco figure reviews. Check out Rectangular's YouTube channel with the latest, greatest Marvel Legends news. Check out The Foosh with Robo because he's simply amazing. For your cloth clothing needs, check out cjsem.com. Check out Supreme Collector. If you're in the UK, check out Toy Trash. And if you're in the local area, check out Line Breakers. Be sure to keep up with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, and toymigos.com. Also, be sure to share this, hit a like, sub, do all that fun stuff. That'd help us out a lot. I am Cheney180.
I'm the Fallen Fett.
I'm 80s, baby.
Remember, guys, they're not dolls.